Hi, it's Catherine, the Sugar Freedom Woman, and I'm answering Quora questions. And the Quora question of the week was, what gave you the impetus to finally lose weight? Or to put it more simply, what made you want to lose weight? So there was an event that happened to me way back in 2008 when I was 43 years old. During the course of 1 week, I was asked if I was my son's grandmother and offered the senior discount. So I was at the grocery store and I had my son with me, and he was 6 at the time and I was 43. And we were doing our shopping and we had a gal help us out to the car. And as I was loading the groceries into my trunk, she looked at me and she said, "Oh, he is so cute. Is this your son or is he your grandson?" And I said, "Oh, he's my son." And she said, "Oh, I hate it when I do that." And I was thinking, yeah, I kind of hate it too. And I realized that something was wrong because I was eating right, I thought, and I was training a lot. So at that point, when I started to be asked if I was my son's grandmother, I was doing cardio like an hour and a half, 5 days a week, and I was going to Weight Watchers. So I thought that what I was doing was going to work. I was trying to reduce my calories and do more cardio. And not only was it not making me lose weight, but it was also making me look older. So that was what gave me the impetus. It wasn't even so much my size or how much I weighed, but what happened is when people started to think that I was, instead of being 43, which was, just getting into middle age and being a mom, when people started to think that I was a grandmother, I don't know, was I frail? Was it the way I was moving? I wasn't ready to look old. And so I had to do two things. I had to replace sugar and I had to replace cardio. So the reason I had to replace sugar is because anytime I would eat sugar, I would end up overeating. If I was eating sugar, I could not control, I couldn't manage my appetite. One of the things I say when people ask me, what should I be eating? Well, eat the foods that nourish and satisfy you. And everything changed. And remember, this was almost 15 years ago. Everything changed for me when I decided to never eat foods that make me hungry again. And even when somebody's having a birthday or a celebration, I'm rarely going to eat that piece of birthday cake. I'm rarely going to have desserts when I go out, because that kind of food literally makes me hungrier than I was before I ate it. And there's a couple of things going on there. I respond to food. I have this surge of dopamine, and it just makes me want to eat everything in sight. Everybody doesn't respond that way. But I have learned, and it took a number of years, and it took a lot of mistakes, and I finally learned to simply leave sugar out. And there's actually a commercial that's running, and I think I may have even seen it when I'm watching my channel, talking about how giving up sugar and cutting carbohydrates isn't sustainable. Now, I don't know, it may not be sustainable for some people, but it's been sustainable for almost 15 years for me. And I think if we wonder why that is, why I've been able to quit sugar and just leave sugar out completely, I think it's because I am too busy living my life and loving my life to be worried about eating sugar. I'll give you an example. Over COVID, I learned to play the ukulele, I learned to play the guitar, I started playing piano again. And here's one of the things about, if I'm not eating sugar and if I'm not eating processed carbohydrates, it's kind of like somebody turned down the music. It's all of the cravings, all of the hunger, all of the frustration, all of that gets turned down. And what I hear instead is I hear my mind and I hear my heart for what I really want to do. I even called it recently, I called when I eat sugar, it's kind of like, death metal music playing and I can't hear anything else. But when the sugar is gone and I'm sticking with, as you may know, I've been going mostly carnivore for probably about the last 3 years now. You don't have to do that. I actually started by just taking out sugar, grains, and processed vegetable oils. But over this time, it's like I can hear and I can appreciate all of the other good things in my life. For example, I'm not going to be craving a dessert or craving a treat because the things that I am doing are the things that are making me happy. For example, singing and dancing and drawing and playing with my dogs. And the weird way that I respond to sugar, it makes me kind of crazy and compulsive, is that if I start eating it, I can't think about anything else. It blocks me out for everything else. But if I go ahead and leave it out, I feel much calmer, I feel much happier, and all the other things in life are a lot more pleasant. The second thing I had to do, so that's replacing sugar, and the second thing I had to do was replacing cardio, because what that hour and a half of cardio 5 times a week was doing is it was burning my muscle and it was making me hungry. And I think it was definitely making me old, because what was happening when you're trying to do 90 minutes of cardio a day, you really don't have any time to do strength training or do ability training. Things like, for example, push-ups. Back when I was doing all that cardio, I couldn't do a single full body push-up, not even one. And I just found out today, I've been back trying to do more push-ups, and I can do 5 really good ones in a row, and I'd like to work up to 10. So that's another thing that I want to talk about in terms of what has kept me off of sugar so long and what's kept the more than 60 pounds that I lost off of me. So this is the tip I want to leave you with today, is process goals sometimes instead of weight goals. Because the funny thing about weight is it's autonomic. You can't simply tell your body, okay, body, weigh less, in the same way that you can tell your body, okay, do a bicep curl. So our weight is controlled by all of these different systems in the body. But what I can control and what you control is the ability to do something new. So for example, last week, I was really only doing 3 full body push-ups in a row. And after a couple of weeks, it took about 2 weeks to get them back. Now I can do 5, and I'd like to build back up. Back when I was working as a personal trainer and I was teaching and I was training people, I got up to 15. I usually could do 10 really good ones, and I could really, if I ground it out, I could do 15. But that was a couple of years ago. So that's an example of an ability goal or a process goal instead of just a weight goal. And that's what I'm going to be working on. So I'm really grateful to get that Quora question, which was, what was the impetus for losing weight? And it wasn't just about weight, it was about people asking me if I was a grandmother, asking me if I got the senior discount when I was only 43. So it was really more about identity than it was about my weight. And then the other tip is to focus on not just on what the scale says, but on what you can do. And that's living sugar-free. And as always, eat for yourself, be well, and come back, and next week I'll have another Quora question for you. Take care, everybody.